Let me fix that. Did I fix it? Mic check 1 2. Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is that better? Okay, cool. We good. We here. Yo, bro, I gotta get all this stuff together, man. Like I said, new location, new vibe, new everything. You know what I'm saying? What I'll be bringing to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Still get into these deep ass conversations. Still talking about it. It's gonna be a little bit more back to my old school, where it's gonna be me solo talking it out with you. You know what I'm saying? Still bringing y'all the daily news and daily conversation, daily talks, daily everything. You know what I'm saying? And the vibes, I appreciate it. Everybody saying that you can hear me. Also, I got a new intro. You know what I'm saying? So, new intro is really trying to explain y'all the new vibe on the podcast and what we bringing to y'all over here. All right. Appreciate y'all hitting that like, subscribe button. Like I said, y'all. So, just in case some of y'all missed it, I'm playing for y'all one more again. Because, you know what I'm saying? I want y'all to get used to the vibe. You know what I'm saying? What we're doing over here. So, y'all, once again, for people that missed it, this is the new intro. And this is what we're getting into, you know?
Real talk podcast burning.
Hey, so that's what we doing over here. Okay. Thank y'all for checking me out. Thank y'all for checking me out. Thank y'all for checking me out. So, welcome. My name is Kapeash. I go by Kapeash wherever it's at on y'all screen. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, bro. When I say we're gonna be burning through some conversation, trying to ash out some common sense. Everything may not, y'all may not agree with everything that I have to say, but I'm going to try and do my best to go over, bring up evidence and reasons why I feel the way I feel about topics and situations and things that are going on. Okay. Understandable that I'm having a lot of X. YouTube is getting very restricted on using contents off of the. I will be putting videos, big events. Shout out to Nate the lawyer. He's a very good person, especially when it comes to court cases and different things. I will be using certain lawyers, certain aspects to break down, ask questions with you, go over things like that. Um, Also, I will be bringing cartoons to the channel. Same channel, just bring a lot more things to the channel. I've been working on it, and a lot to do. So this is just me opening up, sitting back, just lightly discussing things with you guys. You know. Oh yeah, yeah, I know where we at, Las Vegas. Yeah, I know where we at, Las Vegas. I know a lot of y'all seen that. I'm like, man, I can't even subscribe to them. Will we get into the sports aspects of things? Probably not. I really don't be jonesing with people in the sports world, man. I like to, but I'm just a sports fanatic. Just sit back like sports. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. All right. So my ex is filled with a lot of things. And sometimes there are just certain little videos that I just can't help but have to cover. Now, today is not one of those days. Today's I probably most likely to be all over the place when it comes to videos and things that are going on. Because yet again, there's a lot of things going on. So a lot of this stuff be first time reaction with you guys, you know? Uh I was just strolling, I was looking, y'all. I was strolling, I was seeing what I was gonna do. I really want to try to get into this intro of hitting you guys up with some big thing that I got an attitude with, which I really do. Okay. I really do technically have something that I want to go over with you guys. I guess I'm gonna have to cover more than one time. Had to put it in the description. Put it more in the description of this. But I just want to go. I just want to go over this with you guys, and I really wanted to go over this with a couple of other people. Um, a couple other people I wanted to go over with, and it's about the Stephen A. Smith thing. It's yes, yeah. I really want to talk about the Stephen A. Smith. It's been calling on me to dissect this because I've been hearing this, been hearing it. And normally I've been covering this stuff deep. I'd have been deep up in it, you know, I've been all over. So I feel like I'm missing that attitude, I'm missing that fault. So by me missing that fault, missing that attitude, I'm gonna bring it back, y'all. And I got a spot where I want to bring it up at. How do I want to show this off to you? Bring it here. Let's bring the band up. Okay, cool. This is probably cool for everybody that's watching on both screen because I got it on the phone screen, got it on the big screen. I just want to bring it to where it's nicely presented for all you guys. You know, Stephen A. Smith, bro. And he goes through his accolades. I'm not gonna go through his accolades, but I want y'all to hear this rant he goes on. And then I will break it down my opinion about the rant and what's going on.
That's why I'm addressing it. Tell me what it has to do with journalism. Disparaging black women? How? I've heard people bringing up Jasmine Crockett. She was a representative in Texas, representing 766,000 people. Did I sit up there demonstratively asking, why would you curse out the president of the United States with the cameras rolling? How is that going to help you? Yes, I did. Why did I do that? Not only because she's in Texas, and I know they're a little bit different in Texas, a bit more conservative. And I didn't think that would work with her constituency down there. We also saw the issue of redistricting coming up to the forefront. And I said, you have an opportunity to be the Democratic nominee for the United States Senate, representing 31 million folks. And you getting that seat. Why? Because your education. Because of the fact that you're licensed to practice law in Texas, in Arkansas, and federally. It would have been a great, great thing. I'm like, yo, weave your way through it. Don't let this guy Tellerico win. Was I wrong? But here's the bigger question. Forget that. I apologize for even asking that question. Here's the bigger question. How is that disparaging? How? Oh, Stephen A goes after Michelle Obama. She's the one that compared First Take to a reality show. And I use that as an opportunity to say that this marvelous, wonderful woman, who is the greatest first lady in American history, who I have raised and praised and praised and praised time and time again, to the point where I said she should run for the presidency because there's no way she'd lose.
It's the fact that he's critiquing. He's breaking down his reasoning of why he's something, feeling some type of way, the reason why he didn't like this person, the reason why he criticized the features of a person. I'm not saying she's a bad person, she's horrible, she's ugly, as we hear about Michelle Obama, she's a man. He said none of that. Actually said that he thought she would win. Actually said he thought she would win. Our community, this so-called black community. Let's get deep off into it. I just feel it coming. Has this thing about quickly want to put the thumbs down to somebody or to a person so fast, so quick, so shamefully, just because he disagreed. Why do we got this disagree or this falling in line thing that is just so critical for us to be or us to do? I'm dead serious. You hear this all the time. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do it. We got to have representatives. They got to look like us. Well, I'm here to tell you, a lot of people that look like us don't act like us or don't act in my best interest. Do we care? That's what I want to know. Do we care? Does that matter? I will let it go a little bit further. I will go into more little detail.
All I did was say, I don't like the fact that you said a vote for him, as in Donald Trump, would be a vote against us as women. All I said was there's a whole bunch of pro-lifers out there. There's a whole bunch of people that care about the economy or immigration or safety in the streets. They might not even be thinking about this issue. And I also reminded folks, black men revere black women. Which one is it? We're going to sit up there and talk about how we've got women raising us and how much we deify and love and adore these black women. But then all of a sudden, we're going to sit up there and act like we're disparaging them? How? Kamala Harris. I didn't say this, and I'm still not going to violate trust. But everybody wants to bring up the fact that I sat up there and I pointed out how she didn't even make it to Iowa in 2020, which is fact. And that a Democratic primary was bypassed in order to facilitate her being a Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America. And then you have it in the palm of your hands and in support of millions upon millions of people and you go on The View, and Sonny Houston asked you a softball question, which Sonny Houston acknowledged for The View, threw it right up there for you to smack it out of the park. And you passed by saying, I can't think of anything I would do differently, when it was clearly a border crisis. Last time I checked, NABJ, that ain't journalism. That ain't talking facts. Why would I bring that up? Because I've heard nothing acknowledging those kind of things that I've said.
Not critiquing, just basically in your feelings, bro. And that's sad. So you would get mad because they in their feelings, right? But then if we're in our feelings, conservative mind thinking, this is what I see. Oh, which one is it? Yeah, I need y'all to see which one is it. This is me getting upset. This is me about feelings. Because this happens on a day-to-day basis all the time. This what we be seeing. We had a carnival. We sleep. Got a helper, play run behind the fence some more.
We go. Where's that bitch on shit? We go. Where's my Where's my friend?
Okay. What? How these people got my best interest? Huh? How do these people have my best interest? Again, just because you were record. Look at this. That's wrong. That's wrong too. Look, we just live react. We don't even know what's gonna happen. Look at this. Bye. Now you tell me where that's right. Tell me where she just come in there to fight a person. That's what you want. That's what, see? Look. Break it up, girls. Now, the girl came in there to fight a girl. Look at it, right there.
What's up?
Came in there to fight a person. Can't make this shit up. I'm just strolling. And look how easy. And people's like, oh, this happens every day in other communities. Show me this happening in the Chinese community. Show me this happening in the Black community. Show me this happening in every other race community in America. Show me this. Yeah, that's what we gonna get down over here. Don't run, cause y'all see it live over here. Can't make this shit. Can't make this shit up. And what it look like Target. Everybody coming to record instead of stopping. Stop. Y'all embarrassed. Huh? Huh? You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. But yet again, we cover this. We cover this and we're wrong. We're coons, we're black faces, we're outcasts, and we're stuff like that. We're a disgrace of a black community. All right. That's what they tell us. We're on the outside looking in. But then you hear stuff like this. So okay, we gonna expose, but we're gonna talk political. We're gonna get it to the bigger picture. Y'all don't even want to hear that. Cast them out like that.
You know what else I didn't hear? I didn't hear that Kamala Harris called me and asked to meet with me privately. And we sat down for 2 hours. See, I'm telling you that because we met after I said those things. Last time I checked, that's a form of journalism. When you're actually sitting down and communicating with the source. You wouldn't know about that, would you, NABJ? I'm not doing any of this to denigrate the NABJ. I want to state for the record, NABJ right now, from what my research tells me, is in pretty good standing. Things have been going very well for them. When you look at it, I'm looking at revenue. I'm looking at that compared to expenses, net income, total assets, total liabilities. I have all the numbers here. NABJ is not doing bad. Let's take a moment to give Representative Haynes props. You see, I did my research. I have right in front of me. But those were years ago past. That's not now. And the NABJ deserves credit for that. The board, however, clearly engaging in personal attacks, does not deserve such credit. What you did to me is beneath the organization. Where are your facts? You want to bring up Serena Williams? I apologize for that. I'm on national television. I'm flippant with it, joking around with the other fellas. And I basically was saying it really wasn't about her. It really was about her husband. No disrespect, because I was simply pointing out no man wants to see his woman exerting that kind of energy, meaning being on center stage on Super Bowl Sunday for an ex. That's all I was trying to say. But I realized my presentation could have been better. I apologized for that before. I'll apologize for that now. What else you got? Me pushing back at Kerry Champion, former host, the first take, or Jamel Hill, former colleague. I don't. There's a difference. What did I do? Where are these disparaging remarks about black women? I have 2 daughters. I have 4 older sisters. I was raised by 5 black women.
And yet again, you shouldn't have to do all that explaining. Yet again, they asked me, oh, Kapeash, if there was somebody out there, who would you pick? Who would be a man in a suit we'll pick? There's got to be somebody out there. Kapeash? Who? Kapeash? All the reason I'm not talking because I wanted to soak in. I want that face to soak in. Like, y'all like, who is that? I ain't see that. You see the little Florida. Like, I may see him a couple of times. Yeah. You're not going to hear no Democrats talk about this guy. You're not going to hear no Democrats bring his name up. You're not going to hear nobody talk about it. He's Uncle Tom. Of course, he's Uncle Tom. If I'm Uncle Tom, but damn, at least I'm willing to pick a black person. You can't say there's not a black person, but I'm not all about that. Y'all just want me to pick somebody here. I'm picking somebody here. I'm showing you there are people out there. That rant that Stephen A. Smith is going on because of a team of people who didn't like his decision or how he uh, communicate his words, deliver his deliverance to the people, how he critique people in their position and what they're supposed to do. Now, I get told that all the time. Sometimes I don't present things the correct way, and especially probably having marijuana up in here as I do this because this is Burn Live. Y'all stop playing. Y'all would miss the message. That's why I've let his face stick up here for a minute. What I want y'all to see is how bad is and what y'all gonna turn a bad into. What a man is and what you gonna turn him into. And I think this speech I may be wrong. I may be off. I hope I'm not. I think I'm close to it. I really want y'all to hear this little part right here. And then I'm going to get into a little something else real fast. Y'all see the name. Don't never say I never gave y'all a name. Blasted it.
What they did to me. This is not about the NABJ. This is not an indictment against them. It certainly isn't an indictment against the sports task force filled with a bunch of my brothers that I will always be there for. And it certainly isn't something that should be held against aspiring journalists and those already in the business who aspire to rise higher. I'm always here. But those few board members who made this decision, it was wrong. It was grossly unfair. And more importantly, it was self-defeating. I will repeat, one of your own is about to be inducted into the Broadcast Cable Hall of Fame, the most prestigious honor, other than winning a Pulitzer Prize, the most prestigious honor one can achieve in our business. On September 29th, I am about to be a member. When we look at accomplishments in this industry by Black people in this industry, I'm one of the top dudes to have ever achieved in this business. Yet I'm not in your Hall of Fame. I was good enough to speak to the kids. I was good enough to be in the booth for the job fair. I was good enough to have a nationally televised show at your conference over the last 2 years. And the year I don't come back with the show is when I get the thumbs down award. And then you say something as vague as, oh my goodness, he's disparaging Black women with no facts. It's pretty sad. By the way, speaking of my company, Disney, that employs me, that I'm a star for, Disney and ABC News Group announced a 4-year financial commitment to NABJ to support the NABJ Leadership Academy. NABJ, why don't you reach out to Disney and ask who is one of the people behind the scenes encouraging them to do so? Why don't you ask? Black producers, Black associate producers, Black contributors, Black correspondents, Black talents. Why don't you ask what role I've played and will continue to play in that? These are all facts which, as a journalist organization, you're supposed to care about. Where are your facts? I'll leave it at that. I'll just close by saying, I don't want enemies, but I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to call things as I see them, which I've earned the right to do over a journalism career that now spans 33 years. 33.
Now, my thing is, where is he wrong? Where is he wrong? So I heard some people talking. They were saying he was wrong. But where are you wrong? I wonder who the one. So
Jamel, let's talk about
they're gonna tell us how he was wrong. And see, this is where y'all, this is why I should have titled the way I should have titled, because we got both videos. As y'all see, I just played clips of the Stephen A. Smith. This is Don Lemon and Jamel Hill, which y'all heard him mention about Jamel Hills. So of course it'd be right for her to get a 2 cents in, right? It'd be right for her to get a 2 cents in. What you got to say? You know what I'm saying? But remember, he broke down a lot of different things. And if I have to go back and break down each one individually, I will. But yet again, it bothers me that we're doing this and it's a community type thing. Instead of a work thing, his art, his craft, the way he delivered, was he wrong or something like that? If it was something like that, okay, I'm getting you. I got you. Okay. Was he wrong? Let's see how he critiqued, or what did he say that was so wrong.
someone you've worked with, and I have you on because you know him. You've worked with him professionally, and you've also, I think, have you been a part of his wrath, a target of his wrath or criticism?
Yeah, I mean, wrath is probably I haven't got it as bad as some others, but he's mostly been, I'm gonna be fair to Stephen A. He has mostly been complimentary of me. He took issue with some of the things that I said about him. And I understood that. That was fine. This is part of the dance that we do when we're in media. And so so yeah, like he seemed to be surprised with some of the things that I had to say in response to some of the things that he had to say. But he certainly said some things that I didn't necessarily love about some of my friends, be it Joy Ann Reid, Carrie Champion, and others. So, and politically, we're very
Jasmine.
different. Jasmine
Yeah.
Crockett. I don't know Jasmine, but obviously,
Yeah.
I admire her for a lot of reasons. But there's a
Yeah.
pattern that's been there.
Well, all of the people you're speaking about, I know. Some of them are friends, some of them are acquaintances, others I just know. But I was surprised at how to me, it was the tone that he took with Jasmine Crockett and with even Joy, and even with me. I'm not a Black woman, but it's just the tone, or speaking from as if he's an expert from knowledge that he doesn't necessarily have. Right? He doesn't. He didn't come armed with all the knowledge.
And I think that is really the crux of the issue that people have with him, is that they feel as if his tone is very different when it comes to speaking about you or Joy, Carrie, Black women in general, Black people. Like, some people put it under the umbrella of Black people. And when you think about the fact that Donald Trump called this man an idiot, I mean, he literally called him stupid. And people did not sense that same level of vitriol toward Donald Trump, who
feel. Not saying actually or factually nothing he said was wrong. Where I got the fact to say that something that Stephen A. Smith said was wrong.
Said something about him that none of us have ever said about him. Like none of us has ever called him stupid. We may have said, "Oh, he's uninformed about this," or whatever. But Donald Trump literally.
Roland Martin has called him stupid and dumb multiple times, expeditiously.
Called him a low IQ individual, which is his go-to insult, especially when it comes to Black people, as you know, because he's called you the same thing. And so I think that's why people really kind of sort of started looking at Stephen A's responses and actions pretty critically and saying like, okay, you seem to have a lot of fire and a lot of venom and a lot of discussion about the Black folks, but when the white folks do something, you seem to be kind of muted and nuanced and you treat them a little bit differently.
Okay, now I'm wondering if you think that what happened at NABJ. I was there. I wasn't there for this. You were supposed to be there, but you had a scheduling conflict, and you're an active member in NABJ, right? All of us. And then, they honored him, or at least I think they honored him last year, and First Take maybe. And then all of a sudden this year, because of things. Now, I'm wondering if you think he deserved.
Because of things. Wouldn't you think for the audience, for me, because I don't know, for you, because you don't know, for all of us that's interested in this, wouldn't it be okay for him to break it down? Give a couple of examples. Wouldn't it be great to get like just a couple of examples? Hey, it was because of this, and this. Couple of examples. I don't think that would hurt it. I don't think that would hurt it at all.
This from NABJ. This was their announcement on Sunday night or Saturday.
Board recognizes conduct that harms Black journalists, weakens newsroom equity or editorial independence, reinforces damaging portrayals of Black people, or compromises the public service mission of journalism. Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has a representation of Black women in public discourse and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's long-standing commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of Black communities.
That was quite a reaction.
Jamel.
Wow. Okay. Well,
first of all, before they give out their response, I'm gonna give out mine, because when I first heard it and I seen it right here, they were shocked. It seemed like there was more shocked of them putting him up there than they was expecting, or that's her person deserved. It felt more like shock. Let's go over that one more time before they announce him and listen to what, like, tell me if they was like, whoa, you ain't need all that. Oh, damn. So, I didn't see that coming.
Saturday.
Board recognizes conduct that harms Black journalists, weakens newsroom equity or editorial independence, reinforces damaging portrayals of Black people, or compromises the public service mission of journalism. Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has a representation of Black women in public discourse and stands in direct conflict.
Oh. Looks more like of a shock. These people were shocked. Maybe I could be wrong.
with NABJ's long-standing commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of Black communities.
That was quite a reaction.
Jamel.
Wow. Okay. Well,
You have the floor, ma'am.
so I'm going to try to attempt to do something that isn't always appreciated, and that is have a little nuance. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, has Stephen A. been have the criticisms of
Why they gotta be so choicy of words? Like, yo, has he been criticizing Black people? Are we always messed up? Do we need to criticize ourselves to better ourselves? Maybe we need to point at it instead of ignoring it.
Stephen A. been unfair? The answer is no. I think they've been completely fair, and I think a lot of them have been valid in terms of, as I was talking about, that different energy, and I'm trying to understand where that comes from. And I think politically, people definitely have a problem with how he's used his platform and who he has platformed on his platform, and kind of the circles that he seems to be ingratiating himself with. It leaves a little, leaves one to raise the eyebrows and say, okay, what's really going on here? You're flirting with running for president. We know that you're friends with some interesting people, to say the least. And I don't want to be getting into business of judging people by their friend groups, but I think people can see the dynamic of what's unfolding and saying, like, who is he trying to ingratiate himself to and why? So there's that component of it, which I think those are fair observations and
I do judge people by their film group. Their friend
Okay.
group. I'm just saying.
All right.
That's-
I mean, that's,
all right.
We do judge people by who they hang out. It's factually known that the Democratic Party is funded and ran and sponsored by the KKK as we speak. Why they try to throw the KKK so far off into the Republican Party, Planned Hood is funded and financed by the KKK members and started by the KKK members. Fact check it, check fact, but I don't give a hell what you do.
Yeah.
It
says a
if
lot
I was
about who
friends
you
with a
are.
serial
All
killer,
right.
y'all be looking at me crazy too. I got it.
Right, exactly.
I
I got it.
understand. So
Yeah.
I get that. And I think those are fair criticisms and observations. But here's where it gets to me a little thorny. Yes, it is true that First Take, you mentioned this, they brought the show to NABJ. Part of that is because Stephen A. has exhibited an actual commitment to Black journalism. He's an HBCU graduate. He's taken the show on the road, as in First Take, to many HBCUs. And while he wasn't the first show at ESPN to do that, my show actually was. But when I had his and hers, we went to Howard's Homecoming and did a big show. But that's okay. That's neither here nor there. It's not about me. But he has done that. And knowing a little bit with how he operates his show, there are Black people that work on his show that he is actively, intentionally hired to bring Black folks at the producer level, at other levels in our industry, to bring them into the fold. There are a lot of Black people who can say, Stephen A. helped me with my career. That Stephen A., he elevated me in this way. When he had his show, quite frankly, on ESPN, it is true, he created a segment strictly for Black voices on his show because there wasn't a lot of Black columnists. I was one of the Black columnists that appeared on his show. Me, Rob Parker, Gary Howard. It was very few of us. Stephen A., it is true, gave us a platform to do those things. So while I do understand that how he has done and moved and operated in certain ways has gone against the mission of NABJ, and that thumbs down award, that is what it is supposed to address.
Where is the mission gone wrong is what they have not explained at all. And she's trying to, no, what is it? And if I'm missing, somebody put down in the comments that's watching. Where is it? Where am I wrong? To let me know, what did he do wrong? Slandering, putting down negatively black women and Don Lemon and the so-called community. Come on now.
I do think the body of work should matter. And Stephen A does not have a lengthy track record, I think, of going against the core and the root of what Black journalism is. And while I don't like a lot of the things that he has said, I also cannot absolve or cannot erase the contributions he's made, both as a Black journalist himself and also as somebody who has tried in many instances to use his position to help other Black journalists.
Okay, completely fair, and nuance, which people don't like in this day and age. They're just like, it's not like the Black journalists were calling him, the sellout, or the Uncle Tom or the coon, right? No, they weren't doing that.
Some people do.
No.
Like that's
some people do. But I'm saying NABJ was not doing that.
NABJ
Basically,
did
they were
not do
saying
that.
what he's doing on the air is not good or detrimental to Black people and Black journalists. That's their opinion. They can do it. They're an organization. They are Black journalists. Okay, a Black journalist organization. However, he thinks what he's doing for the Black community you're more in line. You're saying basically what he has said before about the Black community, but I think sometimes people can be too close to it and they can't see the forest for the trees. I have been there. I'm sure you have been there. And sometimes it takes a person who is your friend, or maybe not so much your friend, to say, hey, look, what are you doing? Can you see yourself? I've had those moments with Spike. I've had those moments with Spike will say, hey man, look, let me see. I've had those moments with DL. DL and I are dear friends now. We toured together, right? We didn't always see eye to eye, but sometimes you got to let your ego go and go, okay, what am I not seeing? And perhaps I am too close to the corporation.
Don Lemon likes to bring that up. Maybe we're too close to the operation. So if we're too close to the operation, right? That's what. Okay, so we're close. Cool. He brought him up, right?
Anybody know that song? I'm such an old person. I know all this stuff.
He brought him up. So since he brought him up.
But D.L. Hughley was here to discuss what is happening.
Let's go see what D.L. Hughley has to say. I'm too close. I don't know. Something we're missing. So we're so-called missing this stuff. Let's miss it together. All right.
But anyway, I'll tell you just in advance, just go to donlemon.com and you will figure it out. Charleston, South Carolina. Okay. But D.L. Hughley was here to discuss what is happening with Stephen A. Smith and his response to the National Association of Black Journalists giving him the thumbs down. Also, a treat for you. Guess who's here? We get results here at the Don Lemon Show, okay? If you're part of the Lemon Nation. Abdul El Said is here. And so we're going to speak to him a little bit later on, Antioch, California, and North Carolina, and DC. We're going to speak to him, Miami, in a little bit here on the show. But first, I want to go and sit down because DL has all the smoke for Fox News and for Stephen A. And he is wondering what the hell is going on in Stephen A.'s head. DL. DL Hughley is here. DL, look, I know sometimes that you don't really say how you feel. So I'm offering you the opportunity on this very program right now to really express yourself and don't be so hesitant and timid about what you're going to hear right here. Roll it, Andy.
Now, I know there's a lot of people that are expecting me to go nuclear. And the reality of the situation is I just might. But at this particular moment, that's not my inclination. I want to tell you, first off, before I say anything, I heard them loud and clear. I'm listening. I'm far from perfect. And I will always strive to do better on behalf of my community, for the journalism community, and beyond. In the days and the weeks and the years to come. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to address what was said about me with the fervor that it deserved.
Okay, and then he went on and he blasted everybody at NABJ, the president, and we're going to get to the whole Fox News of it all and who he had nerve to talk to. But what was your initial response when you heard him?
Well, I think the A in Stephen A doesn't mean accountability. I think, listen, when your peers review you on almost anything, it's pretty much an accurate assessment. Whether if you're peer reviewed in science, it carries more weight. If you're peer reviewed, that's how they give awards out, be they athletic or journalism or even acting, or even in radio and they broadcasting. When people who do what you do, when your peers weigh in about what it is you're doing, either positively or negatively, it should be given more weight. And I think when you went to a white journalist to go to level your grievances against black journalists, that's giving me, I'm telling, massive vibes. It's like Drake suing Kendrick, and I think that it's just. There are a couple of things that people say when they want to cozy up, not to Republicans, but this iteration of them. You're always like when Joy Reid was let go. One of the things he did was to tell her about her ratings were bad, and he would line Jasmine Crockett. And if he didn't feel like he had done anything wrong, what was the commensurate apology for? Because he knew that what he said, there started to be commensurate death threats according to that.
That's what I keep hearing. Everybody get death threats. So I don't want to hear that. But what I keep hearing is that the fact that he apologized. If he wouldn't apologize, he wouldn't have went through this. Y'all, this is only part one of this. This is only part one. Going deep. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Anytime that you're watching this, I appreciate you watching this. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.
This motherfucker is locked.
Talking, I'm in love, baby.